Hold the presses. LG Display just announced that they are borrowing $770 million to double down on OLED development. Is this just to beat QD-OLED? Yes. The question is, well, what will they be spending it on over the next 2 years? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Stop the FOMO. Do you ever fear of missing out on LG's OLED plans for next year and beyond? Today, we will be intelligently guessing at how LG Display plans to spend all this money on its OLED development over the coming years. But first, let me introduce today's sponsor, Whokeys. Yep, you just finished your big old PC Windows build, you have the best of the best, and sadly, you have less than $20 to your name. Whokeys to the rescue. Use my code SF20 and immediate discount. Let's quickly go through the activation process after you've purchased Windows 10 on Whokeys. Go to your Whokeys account and select My Purchased Orders. See your order. To the far right, click on the button that says View Keys Codes to see the Windows CD code. At the bottom of this order where it says Code Card, to the right is the product key you need to activate Windows. So copy this long number, then go to the Windows menu and click on Settings. In the Settings menu at the bottom, select Update and Security. Select Activation, then select Change Product Key, paste what you copied from Whokeys, click Next, click Activate, and you're done. You can download the Windows 10 Pro key and you're up and running. But that's not all, folks. Whokeys has keys for games too. Steam, Origin, Uplay, you name it, you got it. Check out their sites. There are discounts for all sorts of stuff. And most importantly, you want to be productive? What about Office Suite? Yep, you can download a copy of Office Professional with my code SF20 at checkout and bam. I know. Many of you are asking, who is this FOMO guy and why should we listen to him? Why are his guesses so intelligent? Not to toot my own horn, but just remember, on May 7th last year, before anyone knew anything about MLA and LG OLED coming together to make an amazing OLED TV, on May 7th, I put out this video announcing for the first time on YouTube that LG is looking into this new technology called MLA. And even then, the articles talking about LG OLED MLA were only talking about an 8K OLED TV prototype. What did I say in my video? If you're not buying a TV this year because you're waiting for the 77-inch QD-OLED, will a brighter WOLED from LG, the G3, the C3, with this micro lens, will that make a difference for you? Yep, and lo and behold, introduced in 2023 is a G3 with MLA. This is the year that LG has put out a product that will compete with Samsung's QD-OLED. We're talking about the Sony A95L and the Samsung S95C, both QD-OLEDs, slightly brighter, slightly better, versus the G3 with MLA. Yes, we're going to have this shootout in August between the Sony, Wait, you're saying you can't wait for August? I knew you were going to say that. How about this weekend, we're going to have a shootout side by side, 2 days between the LG G3 versus the S95C. And wait, I'm not done yet. What if I brought in an even better TV? They're going to go against Samsung's flagship 8K 75-inch QN900C. It's going to be a great weekend. It is this weekend. No, this is not April Fool's. I am flying to Value Electronics, and joining me is Brian of Brian's Tech Therapy. He will be there. We're going to have so much fun. Okay, now back to the LG OLED roadmap. Now that you've had time to digest the latest news that LG Display is borrowing $770 million from its big brother, LG Electronics. I know, right? LG Display borrowing $770 million from LG Electronics. They're the ones that actually make the TVs, appliances, all that good stuff. LG Display just does that. They make OLED displays. Well, borrowing $770 million to do what? Make a better OLED TV. Now the question is, how? What? I mean, what's left to be done, right? MLA is great. What are you going to do with $770 million? And so today we're going to talk about where that could go. So to help you visualize what I'm talking about, I'm going to organize everything into our favorite chart. So here we have in 2023, the reigning OLED technology. It's QD-OLED by Samsung. It now comes in three sizes, 55, 65, and 77 inches. And this year it got even brighter thanks to a better blue chemical they are using. Uniformity continues to be awesome, best in class of all the TV technologies out there. Mini LED, LCD TV, WOLED from LG or Sony or Panasonic. The Samsung's QD-OLED, as used by Samsung S95C and last year's Sony A95K, and I expect this year's A95L, clean, clean, clean. Obviously, you always have panel lottery, the occasional loss here and there, but on average, it's pretty much universally accepted that the QD-OLED panel uniformity, spot on, best in class. And color tinting is non-existent. Pretty much everything looks like it should, whereas WOLED in the past has had this pink magenta tint issue. Same with the DSC, the uniformity. There's this vertical color banding that's really prominent on the 65-inch. I had that problem in 2021 and 2022. Those were the 2 years that Sony beat LG because of that vertical banding and color tinting. And additionally, this year's flagship QD-OLED native refresh rate up to 144 Hz in the S95C, and lastly, some quality of life upgrades, the One Connect box, and the addition of active tone mapping, which makes everything a little bit brighter, not accurate, but it still preserves some of that color accuracy that is in the static tone mapping. I thought all of this really made for a compelling package, but LG G3, introduced this year, kind of caught up. So first, it matched Samsung in the sizes, also 55, 65, and 77 inch with MLA. So the MLA is what elevates the G3. If you get a G3 without MLA, like the 83 inch, you're not going to get that extra brightness punch. So if you are getting a G3 and you want that extra MLA pizzazz, you got to get the 55, 65, or 77 inch. And uniformity is definitely improved. I have the 65 inch and I was like, wow, this is very close to the Samsung S95C. So I think G3, they figured out, and hopefully the C3 as well, how to fix that vertical banding issue. Now, some people still say they might see a little bit of it, but definitely better than last year. And the pink magenta tint, so this is panel to panel as well. I didn't see it. It's not as obvious. However, when I was watching hockey, right next to the S95C and the A95K from last year, there was a little bit of a pink tint, but it wasn't offensive, meaning if it wasn't for the side-by-side, I didn't notice it, but some people are sensitive to it, and this is the innate nature of WOLED. There's always going to be that pink tint, but it shows that LG can reduce it substantially. Unfortunately, native refresh is still 120 Hz. Now, when I say unfortunately, it's not a big deal for most of you. PC gamers looking specifically for that 144 Hz refresh, this might not be the TV for you if that's important to you. Now, let's talk about 2024. Where does G3 go from here? What can LG do right now, invest this year, to make the G4 even more competitive in 2024? First, definitely add MLA to more sizes. We're talking the smaller sizes. Like this year, I do want to get a 42-inch WOLED because it's brighter, it's great as a monitor, and yet there's no MLA, so I'm going to have to settle for a 42-inch C3, but many of you are not getting the 42 or the 48-inch because you're waiting for the MLA version. So I'm hoping, expecting, that there will be MLA smaller size TVs next year, as well as a larger 83-inch MLA next year. That would keep it ahead of Samsung, because I don't think Samsung is releasing an 83-inch next year. Maybe the year after, but it just doesn't have to, right? The volume is definitely in the 55, 65, and 77. And let's reduce that pink level even further. The fact that they could do it this year means there's still some work left. They could reduce it even further next year. I don't think you could ever eliminate it because it's part of that whole WOLED stack, but the more you can minimize, the better, right? Pricing, there is a place you can go. They could be more aggressive in pricing, or alternatively, more aggressive in marketing. Samsung is the #1 brand in the world, meaning it sells more TVs than anybody else. Why? Very aggressive marketing, right? LG could spend some of those millions into marketing to get the word out, but 2024 is just a stopgap for 2025. Most of that money is not for 2024 model TVs. It's going to take them this year and next year to get the 2025 model TVs ready. Now, what's so special about 2025? Phosphorescent blue OLED. Boom, let's check out what we're going to find in 2025. It's going to take them 2 years, this year and next year, to fully develop that new phosphorescent blue OLED that's coming out into the market. Now, they don't have an exclusive on that, right? Samsung also will be buying the phosphorescent blue for their QD-OLED. So QD-OLED will get the phosphorescent blue upgrade, and WOLED will also get that upgrade. Brighter, more stable, meaning it'll be less likely to burn in with the brightness. It's going to be amazing for OLED owners in 2025. But for LG to get that TV out in time, they have to get ready for 2025. It has to be released with no problems at all. So 2024 is a stopgap year. 2025 is where it's at. But there's another one that I think they're getting ready for. It's going to take them probably a year to get this. You tell me if you don't think this is totally worth it. Chatbot AI, picture wizard, come on. Just imagine this, right? I want my explosions to pop. Forget picture modes, forget picture profiles. You just tell the TV what you want. I want it to look like a Sony. You didn't expect that, did you? But if you cannot wait until 2025 or 2024, and you want to buy a TV this year, catch my live stream this weekend of the S95C versus the G3 versus the QN900C, right? These are all TVs costing over $4,000. We're going to have so much fun. Until next time, stop the FOMO.